Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh!
You know, they could hate as much as they want, but you know, nothing looks good as that paycheck.
It's good to know like where you came from.
I wanted to be a teacher. That was like my dream job for years. What like speaking from the heart does for you, and if you're from the Valley, you have to work a little bit harder.
And we're back. Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and other distinguished members of the audience. You're listening to VibeZ, a radio show produced entirely by SpartanSound Productions, Central Union High's very own production studio. I'm your host, Daniel Montoya, and this week we are going on spring break, but don't you worry. We've got some more content coming your way for Sunday next week. But in the meantime, we've decided to rerun a very special episode of VibeZ that was scheduled for a few weeks ago, but had to be delayed due to technical reasons. So, please enjoy JayRoxxx and her sister, Brobeansz, Central Union High's very own superstars.
Do y'all want to introduce yourselves?
So my name is JayRoxxx. I'm Bria, go by Brobeansz.
I'm Amelia.
And I'm Daniel Montoya, and you're listening to VibeZ, a radio show produced entirely by SpartanSound Productions, Central Union High's very own production studio. Now, we brought you in here to talk about how the Valley has influenced y'all as artists and the process that goes into your works. So, Amelia, do you want to start us off?
Sure. So basically, this one is for Jay. It's just, can you describe the process and buildup of like your music career growing up in the Valley?
It's actually crazy because before I became like a full-blown full-time musician, I had multiple different careers that I wanted to get into. I wanted to be a teacher. That was like my dream job for years. And then I changed it to wanting to be a nutritionist. And somewhere along the lines, I also wanted to be like a videographer, director, like anything creative, right? I always liked singing since I was 7 years old, but I didn't think it was realistic because I'm from the Valley, you know, like that was like my biggest roadblock. I was like, people from the Valley don't make it and whatever. And it never seemed realistic until around when I was like 14 years old. That's when I wrote my first song. And I wrote it completely from like by myself from scratch, just on the piano, you know. And I was like, hold on, like low key, like I might be kind of good at this, you know. And that was also around the time where XXX at the time had also passed away, which was a huge inspiration at that time when I started writing music, like seriously. And I had told my dad, I was like, Dad, like I want to take this serious, like this is what I want to do like for a living, like this is like what I was meant for. And he was just like, you know, okay, like I'll take you, you know, to my friend, he's a producer, and we'll try to work something out. And ever since then, you know, I've always done music since I was like 14. That's when I really started taking it seriously. And when I was 17 is when I got signed. And it was just unbelievable to me because, you know, that's crazy getting signed at 17 and then especially being from the Valley. I was like, oh my God, like it was an insane experience and an insane opportunity, especially at that young, you know, of an age. And it also happened during COVID as well when I got signed. So I just felt like I kind of got lucky, you know what I mean? Because it was right when I graduated. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life neither. I was in college. And I didn't like it. I hated it. And I dropped out immediately right after I got signed after the first semester was over. And yeah, I would just say it's just crazy, you know, like I said, being from the Valley, because people here try to make you feel like you can never be anything because there's nothing out here. And I just think as a creative and whatever, it's good to be a person that provides those opportunities rather than running to bigger cities to go find them. You know what I mean?
It's good to know like where you came from and like
yeah, and I try to represent the Valley. Like in all my music videos, you guys will see almost every music video that I've done has been in the Valley. I make sure to show the signs like where it says welcome to El Centro and like the park, and I try to like be very, very, very involved with everything that has to do with the Valley. Like, and how we were talking about earlier, like I still live here too. Like I didn't just blow up and then dip to LA immediately. Like I still live here with, you know, with my parents, and I have all my family here, and I don't plan on moving anytime soon either.
So now for Brianna, we just kind of want to ask you the same thing. Can you tell us how it was like growing up in the Valley and then you realized like art was something you really wanted to pursue?
Yeah, so for me, I've always been an artist, like since elementary school. I just didn't think it was a realistic career. Like until my junior year, I would draw every single day in school, like every single day. That's the only thing I wanted to do. My social medias, I went viral, so it was crazy, and a lot of people would associate me like with Jay, like oh yeah, Bree's Jay's sister, or whatever. But on my social medias, it was like people mostly knew me for art, so I was like, okay, I can do this. And I wanted to do tattooing because I'm like, okay, that's the only like career I can do like with art. You know, it's like no one else really knows what you can do as an artist. It's kind of hard to find your way and like what your true passion is. But like being in the valley, I feel like seeing Jay go through like all the hardships she had to face and all the problems and her still accomplishing like what she was able to do. I felt more like okay, I can do this too. And it's just a lot of like consistency with art, just drawing every day, posting content, and then you usually get your flowers back if you're consistent on social media. But I feel like growing up in the valley, honestly, I don't think it was like like not a setback, but like I never thought of it as like, oh, I can't make it out here. I just saw it more as like, it's gonna be harder, but it could happen. So yeah, I feel like that's how I would answer that question.
Nice. That's a good answer because especially it's like just because you're from somewhere small, like you'll get to where you want to be, but you're just gonna have to work a little bit more harder.
Yeah, but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. Nothing's impossible. So back to Jay, when you first started making music, like what swayed you to create like your genres? Because I know sometimes like you sing like from different genres. So, but what swayed you to like create them?
I'm gonna be honest, I feel like it stems from not knowing exactly who I am. Like, that's not always a bad thing, you know what I mean? Like, people want you to find yourself so quickly in life, but I feel like, because I'll see comments on social media, people like, what's your aesthetic and what is this? Like, stick to one thing. Like, why are you always changing? Blah, blah. And it's like, because most people don't know who they are. It's just I'm deciding to kind of like make something out of that, the fact that I don't know. So and besides that fact as well, it's like I'm an artist and a musician all around, so if I like a genre, immediately I want to do it myself. It's to prove to myself that I can do it and I will do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like if I wanted to do a country song, like I'm gonna do a country song. I don't care if I don't have the accent. Like I would learn how to do it. If I want to do an oldie, I'm gonna do an oldie. If I want to do pop, I'm gonna do pop. If I want to do a freaking punk rock song, I'm gonna do what I want to do because I'm an artist all around and no one can take that from me. People can be mad or be like, oh, find yourself or find your style. I don't have a style. I'm just an artist. That's all. And like I said, whatever I want to do, I'm just gonna do it. Like nobody can put a limit to what I can do. You know what I mean? Because I think the moment that you limit yourself is the moment that you take away so much from yourself as an artist because art has no limits. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's subjective. It could be anything you want it to be. So for someone to say you need one lane, you need to stick to one thing is like you're already going against all the principles of art. You know what I'm saying? And you guys brought up a good point too about how if you're from the valley you have to work a little bit harder. I feel like people think that success is served on a platter and like, oh, you're signed, you're gonna become a millionaire within the next few months. That's not how it works. I've been going in my career for 4 years and the work never stops. I feel like people think maybe that I just get to sit back in luxury and like, oh, she's probably super rich and this and that. It's like my career is not like that at all. It's like it's still hard work to this day. Everything to this day is still hard work. It's like, yes, I got signed. That was an opportunity. And when opportunity reaches you, you have to find a way to level it up to the next thing and the next thing and the next bigger thing. And I feel like that's what people also dismiss a lot as well. They think they're going to go to LA and just blow up and be discovered by a huge label. That's not how it works. It's like there's so much characteristics and traits that you need to have deeper within you that's going to define if you're going to be successful in life. It's like you need to create your foundation. You need to have consistency, drive, hard work ethic, all of that. And no matter where you're from, you're never going to make it if you don't have the basic foundation.
Now on to Bree. Do you have any like special techniques of like when you're drawing your art that are like unique to you that like you made?
I feel like a unique part of my art is definitely drawing on my schoolwork. That's like when I went really viral because I would draw on my homework like every single day in school. It was after they had already been graded though. People thought that I would just draw and turn it in. Like no, that was not the case at all. I would just draw in class, but I also too like I guess music. I like to put a lot of emotion into my art, so I could draw like the most bubbliest person and still make it look sad, like because that's how I was feeling on the inside. I'm a very quiet person, and I'm not one of those people that's like I guess I'll see like sad things or hear sad music and it makes me sad. I just find the beauty more in it than I do like find a negative way of viewing things, you know. But I feel like techniques, honestly, as you do more art, you learn a lot more, you know. So like every sketch or drawing, painting, anything that I do, there's always something new. It's always something new. I do a lot of similar things, but there's never one thing that I'm like, okay, this is what like I'm gonna keep doing, you know, because it's so different. All art is different. I do lots of different art. I paint, I draw, you know, I make clothes, I stitch, I use clay. Like it's just so much stuff, like a lot of things. So it's like hard to just find a technique for one. I guess it's just I like to add a lot of gore and creepiness to my art, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much for that.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually,
You know, let me interject here. I'm Dr. Tom Tacky, and I've had both Bree and Jay in classes before, and what I want to do is kind of talk about just kind of the school experience. You know, Bree brought in this amazing portrait of me. I mean, it's this incredibly. Isn't this great? I'm talking about art on the radio. That's just so fantastic. But you know, it's just this beautiful pencil sketch that she, you know, captured it all. But I want to talk about, you know, your school experiences, because a lot of different artists that, you know, I've read about and been around, high school wasn't exactly the greatest thing for them. And, you know, I know we do preach, you know, kids stay in school, you know, you got to do that. And you need to become educated. But, you know, let's talk about your school experiences a little bit as to how that maybe, you know, helped you and the frustrations too, if they're there, okay?
I think my school experience honestly really did help a lot. Like, because my senior year is when I really started getting more into like taking my art seriously and stuff. And my junior and my senior year. But it's like, it was definitely like the environment. Like my junior year, I started drawing in school all the time. And it was like, yeah, you do get bored in class. But I was a respectful student. I feel like I would talk to my teachers so they knew like I would still get my work done. But they also let me do kind of what I wanted to do in class because they knew I would still turn in my assignments and keep up my grades or whatever. And my senior year, I had 3 really cool teachers. Mr. Rubio, the music appreciation. Yeah, music appreciation. Yeah. Mr. Rubio, he was also my rock combo teacher. Miss Taylor, my ceramics teacher, and Mr. Tacky, of course, my electronic music teacher. But they definitely helped because I feel like they're the teachers. They acknowledge what their students are passionate about and what they're good at. So they find ways to kind of like help it rather than like, okay, no, you have to do this. Like, you know, we're doing this today, you know? So, and like even with Mr. Tacky, I designed the SpartanSound logo that he has for his class. So even then, like he gave me that opportunity, you know, to do something really cool for the school.
It's a great logo.
Yes, it was really, really cool. And same like with Mr. Rubio and Mrs. Taylor, like they just kind of let me do my own thing because they knew I would still find my way to make sure that I got my stuff done, but they kind of let me have so much creative freedom in their classrooms. So it's really, I think it was really cool my senior year to have like teachers that actually care about what you were doing.
Yeah, and like the other ones that just like brush it off. And
yeah, for sure.
I would say my high school experience was one of the worst times of my life, all years. So, you guys have to remember too, like, I'm the older sister, so, like, because me and Bree, we always talk about it, like, because when she was a freshman, I was a senior, so we at least had each other that year, at least, you know what I mean? But every other year, it's, like, in everything else that I've done in school, I've always been by myself. I've always been, like, the first, like, the guinea pig child, you know what I mean? And, I didn't really, have anyone older to influence me that was really close in age like that. So my high school experience was really like lonely, like crazy.
Like figure it out in your own.
And it's because I'm not even gonna lie, like I'm not gonna cap, I was really weird in high school, like super, like not even like cool weird, like cringy, like, you know, like a loser. But it's okay because like usually those are people who they become something like because they're so like
to
you
themselves.
know they're to themselves, and you have more time to learn who you are and learn your passions and not focusing on parties or dances or games. And I'm not trying to be like a downer or nothing. I never liked that type of stuff. Because in high school I really struggled with stuff socially. Now I'm very outgoing, as you can see. I could talk a lot to all day. But in high school, quiet. Like I was very to myself, very loner, very like just shy, and like I said, and I remember during my high school years, I had a few teachers too that told me that I wasn't gonna make it, first of all. And I wish I could see them today, cause you know, but I don't never want to call him out by his name because I feel like it's just disrespectful. But when he was asking the class, he was like, "What does everyone want to be when they get older and whatever?" And I told him, I was like, "I don't want to be anything. I'm going to be a singer, and that's gonna be my career." And he just looks at me and I remember he laughed, and he was like, "Well, what about plan B?" And I was like, "What do you mean, what about plan B? There is none." He's like, "Well, that's not really smart, is it? Because, you know, that's not really a guaranteed, you know, career." And I understand it is an out there type of career, but I know the type of person I was, and something in my heart just told me that it was gonna work no matter what.
That
something
you could
in
do
my
it.
heart always told me since I was like I want to say like in second grade I started getting that feeling. I didn't know what I was gonna be, but I knew there was something great ahead of me in my life. I became very self-aware since second grade. I remember being that young and knowing that I was destined for something bigger. So by the time I was a teenager, I felt already way developed than people that were my age, you know what I mean? And when he told me that, it made me so mad. I was like, "Bro, there is no backup plan." He was all like, you know, just telling me stuff. He's like, "All right." And I was like, "Watch." I was like, "When I get famous," I was like, "I'm gonna come back to your class." I was like, "And I'm gonna be like a freaking guest speaker or something." He was like, "All right, we'll see whenever that happens." I was like, and then I got to be a guest speaker for career day, you know what I mean? I think he retired already though, because I had asked about him, and I was so mad. I was like, man, like I wish he was there at the freaking assembly, because it's just you know, so annoying to have people like
hate on it and
to just be like low-key a hater, because even if you kind of suck at your craft or whatever, like I say, let kids just be kids, and if they have a passion that they're like deeply, you know, like
let them do it.
Let them do it, and whatever like the turnout is, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like I was always like very, very just ahead of my time, because now I'm 21. So when I look at 14-year-olds or 15-year-olds, I think they're babies, you know. And
Right.
for me to be thinking the way that I was thinking at that age and already have my whole life planned, knowing exactly what I wanted to do, I'm like, damn, like I was just ahead of my time for that era, you know. And I just felt really misunderstood by a lot of my peers. Like I said, I didn't have friends. I would sit by myself at lunch. It was like not a good experience. I know people would talk crap about me on the internet. They would post videos about me, make fun of me. I already know too, a lot of people that I graduated with also don't like me, whatever, because they used to talk bad about me. And that's how I say, like, my high school experience was not the best. Like, I was literally just like really weird and like a loner, like I said. And all I cared about in high school was music. That's all. I eat, breathe, live,
Sleep,
drink, bled music. That was literally my life. Literally the only thing I cared about. I would literally take my laptop to class and be producing in class, because I had a few cool teachers too that they like genuinely believed in me, you know. And Mr. Corona was one of them. He would let me be on my laptop producing in his class, and he would play like my newest releases out loud on the class speakers. He would always share all my accomplishments. And he actually let me use his classroom for my first music video that I filmed here at Central. And I was like 16 years old, I think. And yeah, so like I said, my high school experience was just real lonely, and like I said, all I had was music. And I think it was great that I went through that, because if I had a typical high school experience, I would have never
probably wouldn't have been where you are right now.
Yeah, I would have never even explored or branched out to anything that I ever tried. I learned how to play a lot of instruments. I learned how to produce. I learned so much stuff being the way that I was in high school, you know what I mean? That would have never
I
happened.
wanted to say something though, because I feel like me and Jay had a really similar high school experience, just the fact that I was the younger one. Like, but I feel like we took it differently, because I was also I was so quiet. I would not talk to anybody. I was just really shy. I don't know, antisocial person. But I didn't see it as like a bad thing, like, because I was really confident with myself. Like, I thought I was the coolest person. In my head, I was the coolest person, you know?
That's all that you
like,
need to
yeah,
know.
and it was my confidence, I think, that got me where I was, because I knew people thought that I was weird or cringy, I know, like, but I didn't really let it affect me. I would just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna be doing all these cool things, and none of this is gonna matter, you know? I'm gonna graduate and it's not gonna matter. Like, these people have these opinions about me, it's not gonna matter. And how she said, like, her teachers kind of were like, oh, whatever. My teachers, I feel like, encouraged it. I would show them my art, and they were like, oh yeah, you can do it, like, for sure. Like, my English teacher, my economics teacher, like, almost everyone that I had talked to, all my teachers I had formed a relationship with, so that they knew what I wanted to do, so that way I could still find a way to do it in school, you know? But yeah, I feel like I just encouraged myself to do it, because I knew, like, no one else could really, their opinions wouldn't affect me in that way, I guess.
Motivation to do that.
See, and I think that's like a huge difference between me and Bree. And I think like our dynamic as sisters, it changes that a lot, since I'm the older sister. And like I said, since I was like first, and I didn't really have someone above me that like could really tell me things. Like, yeah. And I feel like I took it as like I need to prove myself to everybody. I took it as like I got offended. Like I was like, you're not gonna tell me that I can't do it or that I'm worth nothing or that it's not gonna work out. Cause like and I have more of a people pleaser mentality where she has more of like I don't need you mentality. Like kind of more like her own confidence. I didn't have that. I had more like what do you mean I'm not good enough? And I was like, I'm gonna show you that I am, and over and over and over and over and over. And it's like kind of like, and that's like obviously not a good mentality to have for your whole life. But it's when I was like younger, I had that mentality.
Yeah, it's a good mentality for when people are against you.
Yeah, and I remember like I'll never forget too like the talent shows that I did in middle school that I lost because popular girls would win even though I sang better, and I'm like, where are they now? What are they doing with their lives now? I took it personal because this is what I wanted to do for life. That's something they did for fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because they won because what, they're prettier, popular, like, and you know how it is in middle school and how kids are like they're mean. You know what I mean? And I'm like, whatever. And I always just felt in my whole career to this day, even though like people like you guys, you know, you're just meeting me, might think like I have it a certain way. Even to this day, people in this industry still underestimate me, and I still feel like the underdog, and I still, in a sense, feel like I have to prove myself because so many people are like, they try to tear me down, and it's not gonna work. It's never gonna work. It's never gonna happen. And you know, there's just so many experiences that I've had in the music industry where people have tried to belittle me, try to underestimate me time and time and time and time again, and I feel like nobody has given me a true opportunity. Absolutely nobody besides MC Magic. Nobody has no one has believed in me, you know, as much as he did, and people don't really like, I don't want to cuss on here, but they don't like mess with you as much as they say they do, you know what I mean? And it's all just talk, and I think that's why it feels a little bit different for me, because my career is more being like on the front lines, and like I have to be in front of crowds of thousands of people every other weekend, and like it just, you constantly feel this need to prove yourself, you know what I mean? And my job requires me more like to be in front of the camera at all times, like, you know, a lot of interviews, meeting a lot of people, a lot of networking, and so I just have that instilled in me a little bit. That's like I need to prove to people that like I can do it, because, you know, hearing it all your life that you can't, it just makes you want to shut everybody up, like with your actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm gonna prove to you that you're wrong. Like I can do it.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily like, oh, I don't believe in myself or anything like that. I do. That's why I'm doing it.
That's why you're doing it.
Like literally, but it's just like, man, like I don't know. I always tell people too, like, you know, if you have so much to say or you think you could do better, do better.
Do it. Show me that.
And
you
then
can
show
do
me
better.
afterwards how to do it better.
But okay, so this is a really like question that I think we all want to know. For Jay, can you like tell us what your like most like when you made your song, like which one was the most like memorable lyrics to you? I know all of them have like a good meaning, like you put your heart and soul into them, but like which one is your favorite and you like it, it's memorable to you?
My favorite, this is hard. I think off the top of my head I'm gonna have to go with Superstars. That's the first rap song that I ever attempted to do, you know, because like obviously I'm not a rapper, I'm a singer. But I would say definitely that song, because during that time of my career, I remember me and Magic, we were not like fighting or nothing, but we were just not in the same headspace, so we were kind of clashing with our ideas, and I wanted to do stuff on my own, and I was like, okay, like I want to write my own stuff, I want to produce my own stuff. I wanted to do everything on my own. It's when you reach that point in your career where like you feel like you don't want to be babied or helped, or you just want to like fly off and you know, do your own thing. At the time too, my music wasn't like, I didn't really have a song that was like kind of popping at the time or nothing, so I just felt like everything was going downhill. So I was a little bit in a depression phase too of my career as well. So I was like, you know what, I was gonna write a completely different song that day, but me and Joseph, who's my producer, heard that little like the little riff or whatever, and I was like, bro, this is hard. I was like, this sounds like a 2007 like 2008 Kanye rap type track, like that's what this sounds like. And I was like, I want to do like an old style rap type song. And my inspirations for that song were Eminem and Kanye and a little bit of Hobson. And I wanted to rap kind of in that style, you know, very storytelling. And a lot of my friends were at the studio that day too. I think like about 3 friends were there, and I made them get out because I was like, I can't record something so intimate with y'all in here. I was like, just leave. Like, I'll tell you when to come back in. And I made them leave, and it was just me and Joseph. And I was like, bro, how does this sound? And I remember I started like spitting my flow to him. He was like, Jay, like, this is it, like, let's record it. And I was like, no, I was like, you're low-key gassing me. And then he was like, no, like, I'm being serious. And then we recorded it. And I remember when the song was done, I was so excited to show my dad, because my dad is like, to this day, you know, even though we clash heads a lot, we fight a lot and stuff, because he's my manager, he's still my biggest supporter since day one. And I remember I always get so excited to show my dad my new songs. And I drove back home from LA that night. I got home at midnight or like 1 in the morning. And I drove back home so fast. It was like about almost 4.5 hour drive. And I drove speeding so that I can catch my dad before he fell asleep. And I remember I got home and he was just about to go upstairs. And I was like, Dad, no, like, you guys need to listen to the song I just made. And I showed both of my parents. And, like, I wish I recorded his face. And ever since I had showed it to him, I sent it to him and he would play it over and over and over and over and over. And he just told me that he thought it was, like, one of my best songs, like, at that time, you know? Mm-hmm. And I remember, too, like, when I dropped the song, I released it, the first promo video, I dropped 1 million views in one day. I was like, no way. And it's crazy because I was just at such a low point in my career, you know? And it was like, look what, like, speaking from the heart does for you. And like, it was crazy. I had never showed anybody that song before. I had never posted a snippet, nothing. This was the first time I had ever announced the song. And I was like, Superstars dropping in 1 week. Promo video got 1 million.
They were waiting for it.
Yeah, and I remember, like, that was one of my, like, fastest growing songs. Like, even though right now I think it's like at 1 million something streams, which is crazy for me to think about because it's like I was in charge of the music. I wrote the hook, like the little high pitched
like
voice.
You did it yourself.
That was me singing. I wrote all, like, you know, the lyrics, the flow was myself. Because one of my friends helped me write a flow and I was like, this is just not me. Like, it's just not me. And this was like, you know, my flow and everything. I paid for the music video. I directed the music video. Everything was 100% me. Like, yeah, Magic wasn't involved in the project at that time because of what we were going through and stuff, you know? So I was so proud of myself. I was like, no way. And I just felt like it was the fruits of my labor, you know what I mean? Yeah. And producing a genuine piece of art. And then, yeah, and ever since then, that song has been one of my best songs. Every time I perform it at concerts, people freaking love it. They're like singing every single word. And I'm like, I almost cry too whenever I perform that song because I'm like, no way. Like,
what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm gonna be a superstar. We are the superstars, and you know the world is ours. We are the superstars, and you know the world is ours.
Yeah, it's my turn now, and my thoughts are too loud. Yeah, but the sounds from the crowd, they just drowning them out. So tell me why I'm standing here feeling all alone. Yeah, maybe cause the stage no longer feels like home. See, y'all don't know how it feels. I'm tired of keeping it real. I'm finally breaking the ceiling. I know to the max I will never appeal. See, maybe when I break a record 1, 2, or 3, then maybe the whole world will start cheering for me.
We are the superstars, and you know the world is ours. We are the superstars, and you know the world is ours.
You see, I'm back on the road, and now it's show after show. I wish everybody would just leave me alone, but see, they don't understand. I got the world in my hands. All the insanity, the panicking, and paparazzi pandering. They say do what you love, and the money will flow naturally. But every night I sit and wonder, do they love me actually? Maybe when I break a record 1, 2, or 3, then maybe the whole world will start cheering for me.
We are the superstars, and you know the world is ours. We are the superstars, and you know the world is ours.
Yeah, now the curtains are closing, my mind is oh so frozen. Yeah, some days I wanna end it, but remember I'm chosen. You see the life of a superstar, the flashing lights and flashy cars, and I won't stop until my name is on the boulevard. And don't forget just who you are. Yeah, you were meant to be a star, and deep inside your memory, do you think you'll remember me? Maybe when I break a record 1, 2, or 3, then maybe the whole world will start cheering for me.
We are the superstars, and you know the world is ours. We are the superstars, and you know the world is ours. We are the superstars, and you know the world is ours. We are the superstars, and you know the world is ours.
Damn, Jay, you from made it.
And ever since then, I feel like my career has been, you know, going pretty solid and whatnot. And I do think that the Superstars thing happening was like, unexpected, but I love that it happened because it kind of like in a way branded me as well. You can see all these tattoos that I got,
Right.
and I branded myself like as a superstar because that song just did so good and it became such a huge part of my fan base. Like even my fans, a lot of them have the same exact tattoos that I have.
Like that'll always be like a memory. Like
It's like a thing within our fan base. I call my fans like on my channel on Instagram. It's Jay's Little Stars, and as a fan base, we'll call them like the rock stars. But I just call them like my superstars mostly, and this is kind of like my thing now, like stars. Like it's just so affiliated with my career. Every time people see stars, like they'll make me stuff bracelets with little stars, merch, anything. Like they just associate it with me now, which I think is so hard. Like,
and I think that's like a really good like thing to think about. Like say if you're in a slump, like you could see your tattoo and be like that can help you keep going. You look at it and be like.
Yeah, I think I even have I don't know, my lip tattoo still in there. Y'all can see it. It says superstar also inside my lip. So that's like became a thing within my fan base, you know what I mean? So I think that song had the biggest overall impact, But I can go on for days about all of my songs, but that one's like
the one you really love.
The one,
Yeah. That's it. I think that's really good that you have like that's your song, Like you really like it.
Yeah. It low key it became a little bit iconic within my fan base, and I just was super scared to release that song. Because I've never rapped before. So I was like, everyone's going to think I'm cringy. I'm going to get made fun of on TikTok. Because TikTok is a real negative platform. I was like, everyone's going to, I'm going to get roasted. Like, that was my mentality. I was like, they're just going to roast the crap out of me. Like, that's, but.
But it went really well.
No, yeah. And then, of course, like how you said, there's always hate comments. But aside from that, this song did
great.
Really good. And you know what?
Haters are the outcome, biggest motivators.
Yeah, and the outcome was great. And it was like, they could hate as much as they want, but nothing looks good as that paycheck, and that's not, you know what I mean? Like, you can call me cringy or whatever, anything, but it's like
you're helping me, like
regardless, So I think that had to be the best turnaround because, like I said, I was really scared. To put yourself out there is real scary, People stutter and get all nervous when they do a presentation in class.
Right.
For a math project. So imagine like putting yourself, your emotions, your image, your entire vulnerability
out there
to millions of people,
everyone.
Yeah, because that was your first like solo project. Yeah, no, that is remarkable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, what about you, Bree? Like, your art, is there like when you draw, like, is there certain when you put it out, is there certain messages or like things you want to accomplish through your art? Because you might put it out there and say, oh, like people just say that's a cool drawing, but to you it has like a meaning.
No, yeah, for sure. Mine has always been, like, I just started my YouTube channel, and I had answered a question, like, similar to that one. I did a Q&A, and one thing that I really like to, I guess, sort of brand on my pages is, like, loneliness, like, bring that whole community together. It's, like, because how I feel inside, I'm just naturally a really quiet person. I would rather be home, than going out and being with people. It's my safe place. So I want to bring those types of people together, like with my art, because I know that a lot of people, like, that are really quiet people like me and shy people like me, or just people that just don't like, that are not people, you know what I mean? Like, they usually like my art. Yeah, they usually like my art, and they usually feel like, I guess, connected to it. I've gotten a lot of messages from people like that, or other artists. They're like, oh, I never thought I would do art, but like you inspired me to do this, you inspired me to do that, because I just always wanted to make it seem like, like we said earlier, it's not impossible. You just have to put yourself out there at some point. So I think that with my art, I do like to have, like, I guess, showing the beauty in the negative, the beauty in the unhappy feelings, the unhappy moments, And for me, that happened to be loneliness. So it's like bringing that whole community together. It's so amazing what social media can do for you. And, well, all that, it's just all that consistent, those posts that I've done, like, has helped me so much. I recently had a big opportunity. I don't think I told anyone really, unless you follow me on social medias, but I got a good opportunity. So some of my art is like in Zoomies right now, every single Zoomies nationwide. So I think that's so cool. I got a cool deal with FB County, so I got to make art for them, and that's like a few months after I graduated high school. So it's like all this art and the posts that I've been making, the consistency I've done, has got me to a cool spot in life, I guess, but I'm still figuring everything out.
So that was your version of Superstar then?
No, I wouldn't say that. I've gone, like, what my version of superstars would be is I'm barely gonna open my shop. I have a shop, an online shop. I'm gonna open probably today or tomorrow. I just have been waiting for like my product to arrive, and it finally did like a few days ago. But I've just been too busy to like make promo videos and stuff. So I feel like my version of J Superstars would probably be like opening my shop finally, you know, because the FB County thing was my art, but it was still their style.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of how she said with her and Magic, they had to do like compromise and make songs that they both like. I had to compromise, make art that me and FB County both liked.
Yeah.
So it's like now I feel like me opening my shop finally is gonna be like my like moment where I'm like, oh my god, I'm finally sharing my art with everyone, you know?
Like it's just you. Like
yes,
you did
just
that on your
me,
own.
just me. No one else, no opinions or anything.
No having to agree on what you like, what
Nothing.
you like.
1,000% Bree. So
Yes.
I think it'll be cool.
And where can we find this shop?
Oh yes. It's Brobeansz.com. It's BROBEANSZ.com. But you can find it on my Instagram, which is the same as that shop, Brobeansz. On Instagram, it's my link in my bio, my TikTok. All my pages are the same, just Brobeansz. But yeah, you can find that. I'll be opening my shop soon. Probably by the time that people hear this, it'll be open. So if you want to go buy, support me. You can buy some stickers of my art. It'd be really cool.
Stay tuned. Go shop there.
Yes,
Cop
for
your
sure,
merch.
for sure.
So yeah, I think that's good. That's good. That'll put you more out there.
Yes.
And it'll let you express yourself more than you like already do.
No, yeah, and then how we were talking about school, I had made a video about like all my sketches I've done in school, you know, which most of them I drew actually in Mr. Taki's class, and I posted a video. It got 1 million likes. So people, they just liked my sketches, you know, and they're like, you need to start selling, you need to start selling. But like me, I didn't even know where to begin, you know. So it happened a little later that I opened my shop because I know I would have got so many sales if I had a shop open at that time, you know. 1 million people liked my stuff, so I thought it was crazy. But yeah, so I'm just really happy to finally get it going. You know, I feel like I've been waiting for a long time, so I can finally show people like, yes, you can buy my art, you can have it with you too, like I did.
Yeah. We had a question and it was just basically like, outside of Instagram, where do you portray your art? And I think your shop is gonna be.
No, yeah, for sure. I'm mostly Instagram and TikTok. I recently just started my YouTube channel, so it's fairly new to me. But yeah, my two platforms are Instagram and TikTok. I've gotten most of my recognition on there, and now my new shop will be that too.
Yes. Well, everyone stay tuned for that. I'm serious. Go cop her merch. You got to.
Yeah. It was brobeansz.shop, wasn't it?
Yes.
And Beans is
BEANSZ.
SZ.
Yes, SZ.com. Yes, .com.
Okay. So, Jay, what's your inspiration behind your latest song?
Which one? Are you talking about XOXO or My Daddy? Okay.
Okay.
Because I literally just dropped 2 back to back.
Like a week
Yeah,
ago.
we found it while we were researching.
Yeah, I found it yesterday and I was like, oh.
So you're asking about XOXO?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So XOXO was damn. So you said what's my inspiration?
Yeah, what was your inspiration behind it?
The love of my life.
She said nothing else.
No, it's because I don't really like to talk about my personal life on stuff like this, but you know what? I'm gonna just give a tiny backstory. Long story short, I've only had one boyfriend my whole life. The only person that I've ever loved, I always say that. And we dated when I was 19. And then, you know, life happens. We were immature, you know, we weren't ready for a relationship. And so when that happened, I was just going through it. And like I said, I lost myself and I wanted to be with him so bad, but I was like, I just don't think I'm ever going to get back with. I don't think it's ever going to work out ever again. And I would get so sad over that. And, you know, the universe, by whatever fate, brought us back together. And we're a lot more mature now, a lot happier.
You guys have evolved.
Big time. It's like crazy. Like, oh my God. Like, I feel like I'm talking to a new person, but in the best way possible. And I'm sure him too as well. Because like I said, we've grown a lot from that. And I remember one day he was working because he works night shifts, and so we usually FaceTime every single night, but we couldn't because he was working, and like I said, he didn't get off till like 4 or 5 in the morning, which sucked. And so I was kind of sad because I really, really missed him. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write a song for him, like, because I'm bored. And so I literally go on my computer, and then I found that little beat for XOXO, and then I just kind of started freestyling it. And I was like, I want it to be like Spanish pop kind of, and throw some English in there. So then I did exactly that, and I wrote the song in like about an hour, and I showed it to him, and he loved it. He was like, Jay, he's like, you like need to actually record this song, and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, bet. So then I booked studio time, and I got my producer Joseph. We did it real quick. Finished writing the song or whatever, and that's literally how that song came to be. So that song was made like literally off of pure emotion, like, and there's a part in the song, I don't know if you guys noticed it, and it's funny, like there's like a kiss at the end of the song, and that we literally kissed in the booth, like, and it was like a recording of our kiss. So I would say literally the inspiration and all that song was just true love. Literally, like pure love. It's real poppy, like, oh my god, like lover girl, like heart eyes, like I love being in love, like no shame in it, you know what I mean? Because this generation is so like swear they want to be heartless, and I swear that they're gonna be, and it's just like shut up. Like love is beautiful. Love is the most beautiful thing that a human could experience, and it's gonna have ups and downs, but that's what makes it worth it. And I think that's why I really love that song.
If you're listening to this right now, just know that I love you y te extraño. Todos dicen que estoy loca, pues sí, pero solo por un amor. Mi amiga dice que es celosa, la verdad yo vivo por tú y yo. Mis amigas no pueden, pero él me entiende. No lo quería y él me dejó. Feliz que se ha ido, ya no está en mi mente. Y voy con mi verdadero amor. Me llama loca, no puedo cerrar la boca. Me gusta como me toca, nunca quiero que pare. Ellas olvidaron qué bonito es estar en el amor. El antojo de tus besos y tus ojos, mi aliento lo pierdo. Kiss, kiss, boy, you are the one I really want. Kiss, kiss, boy, you are the one that has a spot in my heart. Tienes mi corazón. I promise you're the only one. Blah, 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 hear it from the others. Don't care 'cause you are my lover. You are the one for me. You are the one I need. When you kiss me, I am floating. My heart beats just like. Te amo y no puedo vivir sin ti. Y aunque estamos lejos, mi corazón siempre está contigo.
To kind of sum it up, Bree, we just want to ask you, like, what is your most, like, memorable piece that you've done, like, that you believe, like?
Okay, for sure my most memorable. I feel like it sounds so funny, but I'm a huge fan of XXXTentacion too, like Jay said. The first time I ever posted a TikTok, I went viral and I painted him. So that's definitely one of my most memorable. And the second most memorable is also when I painted him. So it was like my comeback to social media because I had taken a break for months, like no content, nothing. So it was like my comeback post. So both of them kind of like boosted me, I guess, in a way. But it's just like my love for him. I don't know. It like put all my emotion into it. Kind of makes something cool. But I feel like definitely those two. And I always do birthday posts. Like when it's my birthday, I'll make a painting for my birthday. Like whatever I'm into at the time, you know. I painted Eminem, DMX. I've done Juice WRLD, PX. Like a lot of people. So I feel like my most memorable ones definitely have to be something involved with X. But just because they're the ones that boosted me when I came back to social media, you know. But yeah.
You know what I would want to add too about Bree's career? I was gonna say I feel like Bree is super lucky to have someone like me as a sister, even though we fight a lot. Like aside from that, I'm saying business wise, you know, because we're very close in age, and I know like a lot of stuff about the industry and that can help her. Girl, don't be doing that.
Just kidding.
Anyways,
I'm joking.
don't do that. But I
Okay,
was
but-
gonna say that she's lucky. I'm saying because we're close in age and we're close in general because we're sisters.
To give her advice.
And I'm saying it's not gonna be easy, not even a little bit. But I'm gonna be by her side and always tell her that we are not gonna stop with whatever it is. And like, you know, I've invested in her here and there in little things. And obviously when I'm more established for myself, I want to invest in her big time. Like I'm talking about huge things. But I told her that I will not stop until she has her own like gallery one day. You know what I mean?
I feel like me and Jay talk about this a lot because we do social media, but we have different, like, complete different crowds, you know, because she does music and then also people know her face. I just do art, you know, so every time that I feel like I've gone viral, it's like people do it they like it for the art. It's always for the art. It's always for the art. Always for the art. Yeah, and I do here and there, you know, I go live sometimes. People, I do have my own little fan base, you know, in my channel. I have a few, like, following that like actually really do care about me as people, you know. I have conversations with a lot of people, but it's like most of the time that I do go viral, it's like it's huge numbers. Like my last huge one, I just got like 12 million on a video because I got it's almost at 2 million likes right now. So it's always like people like it for the art, you know. And I feel like it's just always so much ups and downs because it's hard. You just don't know where you can go as an artist, and there's so many different routes. It's like it's hard to choose just one to start. But, like, right now I'm making custom clothes. I sell custom clothes. So, like, that's, like, my main thing. And then opening my shop, of course. So, it's, like, yeah, there's going to be so many opportunities in the art community. It's just kind of hard to know which path you're going to want to take.
And I always tell Brie, I think she's one of the best artists that I've ever seen. I'm not even glazing her because she's my sister. Because sisters are usually, like, mean to each other, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm not even glazing her because she's my sister. I think she's one of the best. I think she could do anything, but she needs to believe in herself as much as I do, because then we can elevate and take that to the next level. And you know, my dad always tells me, he's like, hard work is going to beat talent every single time. So that's why I tell her it's going to be really hard, but when we get there, it's going to be so worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is all going to be worth it.
It all boils down
He's
to...
like, shut up now.
Stop talking.
It all boils down to if you want it, you have to fight for it.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have to wrap it up here. Before we... do leave. Did y'all want to plug anything?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram at antisocial extrovert with 2 R's, and JayRoxxx on every other platform. Jesus, it's JayRoxxx. It's not Roxy. It's not JayRoxxx with 1X. It's JayRoxxx.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me at Brobeansz on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Brobeansz, you know, SZ at the end. People always get confused, but yeah, if you want to follow for some cool art, you can do that.
All right. Thank y'all both for your time.
Thank you for your time.
That's really good.
And now for our closing remarks. I would like to thank Jay and Brianna for their time and y'all for yours. It was an honor, frankly, to be interviewing such legends from our very own Central Union High.
This program was produced and brought to you by SpartanSound Productions. Special thanks to our hosts and guests, Jay Roxxx and Brobeansz, Daniel Montoya, Emilia Lopez, and Soren Dorantes. Dr. Thomas Tacky, creator and director of SpartanSound Productions, the administration of Central Union High School, and the Central Union High School District. Mr. Javier Fimbres and Power 98 for hosting us. And to you, the listeners.